Welcome back to the introductory video to Module 2 of Monetary Policy in the Asia Pacific. In this module, we'll be examining the strategic framework for monetary policy to be implemented to achieve macroeconomic goals. Remember, the monetary policy framework connects policy decisions with the goals for the economy. Policy is conducted by the central bank and has two parts. Policy implementation guides the liquidity available to commercial banks. Policy strategy guides the liquidity available to the broader economy. Monetary policy will have an impact on demand for goods in the economy. We call this the monetary policy transmission mechanism. The monetary policy framework offers guidance to their strategy in the form of a numerical target for a macroeconomic variable. This macro target is referred to as an intermediate target. The macro target is set so as to achieve the ultimate societal goals of policymakers. We will focus on the way that monetary policy can guide the macroeconomy toward the intermediate target, and then consider how achieving the interest rate will help achieve the ultimate goals of the policymakers. In this module, we will examine the big picture stabilization strategy of the monetary policy framework. Central banks may have a variety of potential goals, wanting to encourage stability in exchange rates, financial markets, or broader business cycles. Most commonly, central banks around the world emphasize price stability. We will review the macroeconomic determinants of inflation and the central bank's ability to stabilize inflation conditions. In this module, we will concentrate on those central banks that seek to achieve price stability, defined as low and stable inflation. We will define terms. First, inflation, the growth rate of prices. Then, inflation-adjusted interest rates, referred to as real interest rates. We will then focus on the potential benefits from price stability. The questions we will ask are, how do we define and measure price stability? And what are the benefits of price stability? We will then focus on the macroeconomic pressures that might lead to inflation volatility. Then, examine the effect of monetary policy on inflation. The channel through which policy affects inflation is called the transmission mechanism. These topics answer questions like, what are the causes of inflation volatility, and how can monetary policy impact inflation? Many central banks adopt a framework referred to as inflation targeting. This framework adopts a forecast of future inflation as an intermediate target. We will describe the structure of this framework in detail. We then consider the operations necessary for an inflation targeting central bank to hit their targets. We consider experiences dealing with both demand and supply shocks. We will answer the key questions. What is inflation targeting? And how does the central bank keep inflation on target? We will then finish the module by considering the unconventional monetary policies that are used by central banks that are facing an extended period of deflation. This will help us understand the difficulties that are faced by certain central banks in the current period. We will ask, how do central banks deal with a persistent economic slowdown? Thank you.